Can I be really honest with you about something that nobody talks about? I tried positive thinking. I practiced gratitude. I repeated affirmations. I read all the self help books. I did everything I was told to do to cure my anxiety. And I still had panic attacks in the grocery store parking lot. If you've ever felt like you're not trying hard enough, if you've ever wondered why mindset shifts aren't making your anxiety disappear, if you've ever felt guilty because apparently you just need to think more positively to be healed, this video is for you. Because today we're having the honest conversation that wellness culture needs to hear but rarely has. When positive thinking isn't fixing your anxiety, and why that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. Let's talk. Here's what I was taught by every self-help guru, every wellness influencer, every motivational speaker. If you're anxious, you're not thinking positively enough. If you have panic attacks, you need to manifest better outcomes. If therapy or medication is helping you more than affirmations, something's wrong with your mindset. Anxiety is just a thought problem that needs a thought solution. And if positive thinking isn't fixing it, you must be doing something wrong. Can we just pause and acknowledge how damaging that is? Because here's what actually happened to me. I journaled gratitude every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. I repeated, "I am calm, I am safe," until I could recite it in my sleep. And I still woke up with my heart racing. I still had panic attacks at the grocery store. I still couldn't breathe in social situations. And then, on top of the anxiety, I got a bonus gift. Guilt and shame. Because clearly, if positive thinking wasn't fixing me, I wasn't trying hard enough. I wasn't committed enough. I wasn't believing enough. I was failing at healing myself. And that lie almost destroyed me. So let me tell you the truth that took me years to learn. Positive thinking is not a magic formula that instantly removes mental health conditions. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Positive thinking is not a magic formula that instantly removes mental health conditions. You cannot simply affirmation your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. And here's the thing that changed everything for me. Mindset work was never designed to be the only tool you use for anxiety. Think about it. If you broke your leg, would you use positive affirmations and refuse to go to the doctor? No. You'd think positively and get a cast. If you had diabetes, would you manifest wellness and refuse insulin? No. You'd work on your mindset and take your medication. So why do we treat mental health differently? Why do we act like anxiety and depression are the only conditions that require positive thinking alone with no medical intervention? Here's what I've learned. Mindset work is helpful. Gratitude practices are valuable. Affirmations can support your healing. But they don't replace therapy. They don't replace medication. They don't replace coping skills, nervous system regulation, or professional treatment. Science has given us knowledge about brain chemistry. We have doctors who can prescribe medication. We have therapists trained in evidence-based treatments. Using those tools isn't weakness. It's wisdom. And I wish someone had told me that years ago. So if positive thinking doesn't instantly fix anxiety, What does it do? Here's what I've discovered. Mindset work doesn't always remove the anxiety, but it can change how you relate to it. Affirmations remind you that you've survived panic attacks before. Gratitude practices help you notice what's going right when your brain fixates on what's going wrong. Mindfulness gives you a tool to observe anxious thoughts without being consumed by them. Reframing techniques can help you challenge catastrophic thinking when you have the capacity for it. But here's the critical part. These tools work alongside professional treatment, not instead of it. When your nervous system is in fight or flight mode, telling yourself, "I am calm," doesn't calm your nervous system. When you're having a panic attack, positive thoughts don't stop the physical symptoms. When you have an anxiety disorder, affirmations don't fix the brain chemistry. Mindset work becomes effective when you're also addressing the root causes: trauma, brain chemistry, nervous system dysregulation, environmental stressors. I use affirmations and I go to therapy. I practice gratitude and I take my medication. I work on my mindset and I use grounding techniques. I reframe negative thoughts and I set boundaries. All of it is healing. All of it is valid. Now here's the question everyone's afraid to ask. If mindset is so powerful, why doesn't it cure anxiety? Why do some people seem to think their way out of anxiety while others fight it for years? I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to pretend I do. But here's what I've come to believe. Anxiety is not just in your head. It's in your nervous system, your brain chemistry, your body, your trauma, your environment. Sometimes positive thinking doesn't remove the anxiety because anxiety is not caused by negative thinking. Sometimes it's caused by genetics and brain chemistry, past trauma your body is still holding, a nervous system that learned to be hypervigilant, chronic stress that's never been addressed, medical conditions affecting your mental health, environmental factors you can't always control. You can have the most positive mindset in the world and still have a dysregulated nervous system. You can practice gratitude daily and still have brain chemistry that needs medication. You can believe you're safe and your body can still react like you're in danger. That's not failure. That's biology. And here's the hard truth. Sometimes healing looks like management, not elimination. Sometimes the goal isn't to never feel anxious again. Sometimes the goal is to have tools to navigate anxiety when it shows up. Sometimes the goal is to reduce the frequency and intensity, not achieve perfection. Maybe your anxiety is teaching you that you don't have to be cured to build a meaningful life, that you don't have to be fixed to be whole, that managing a condition with dignity and support is just as valid as overcoming it completely. So what do you do when you've affirmed and manifested and gratitude journaled and the anxiety is still crushing you? Here's my honest advice. 1. Stop blaming yourself. You are not failing at self-improvement. You have a condition that may require medical treatment. That's not weakness, that's reality. 2. Get professional help. Find a therapist who specializes in anxiety. Talk to a psychiatrist about medication if needed. Do the work of therapy. It's hard, but it works. Science has given us effective treatments. Cognitive behavioral therapy works. EMDR works. Medication works for many people. Don't refuse the tools that are available because you think you're supposed to think more positively. 3. Expand your toolkit beyond mindset. Yes, work on your thoughts, but also learn nervous system regulation techniques, address past trauma with a professional, identify and reduce environmental stressors, build a support system, set boundaries to protect your mental health. Consider how sleep, nutrition, and movement affect your anxiety. Anxiety is complex. The solution is complex too. 4. Find a community that gets it. If the wellness spaces you're in are telling you that anxiety is just a mindset problem, find new spaces. Find communities that talk about mental health realistically. Find people who don't weaponize positive thinking against your suffering. Find support groups where people understand that you can do everything right and still struggle. You deserve a community that supports your whole healing: mental, emotional, physical, and social. 5. Redefine what healing looks like. Maybe healing isn't the absence of anxiety. Maybe it's learning to live a full life even when anxiety shows up. Maybe it's reducing the power anxiety has over your choices. Maybe it's building resilience and having tools that actually work. Maybe it's self-compassion instead of self-optimization. You get to define what healing means for you. Let me tell you what happened when I finally stopped trying to positive think my anxiety away and started getting real help. I started therapy. I learned about my nervous system. I discovered that my anxiety wasn't a mindset problem. It was a dysregulated fight or flight response rooted in past trauma. I tried medication, and for the first time in years, my brain had the breathing room to actually benefit from the mindset work I was doing. I kept using affirmations, but I stopped expecting them to cure me. Instead of blaming myself for not manifesting my way out of anxiety, I started building an actual toolkit of evidence-based strategies. Instead of asking why I couldn't just think differently, I started asking what my anxiety was trying to tell me and what it actually needed. And you know what? I still have anxiety. I still have hard days. I still have moments where my brain lies to me and tells me I'm in danger when I'm safe. But I'm not drowning anymore. I have tools that actually work. I have support. I have medication that helps. I have a therapist who gets it. And I have self-compassion that's deeper and more real than it ever was when I was performing wellness for social media. Because here's the truth. My worth isn't tied to how positive my thoughts are. My value doesn't decrease when I have a panic attack. I am whole, exactly as I am, anxiety and all. And so are you. So if you're watching this and you've been beating yourself up because positive thinking isn't fixing your anxiety, I need you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are not weak. You have a condition that may require professional treatment, and that's okay. Mindset work is part of healing, but it's not the only part. Therapy is healing. Medication is healing. Nervous system regulation is healing. Trauma work is healing. Community is healing. Boundaries are healing. All of it together. That's how real, sustainable healing happens. So stop waiting for a miracle that looks like never feeling anxious again. Start recognizing the healing that's happening right now, in the therapy appointment, in the medication that's helping, in the boundary you just set, in the fact that you're still here. That matters too. If this resonated with you, do me a favor. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Comment below and tell me, what's one thing you wish wellness culture understood about anxiety? And if you're struggling right now, please, please get help. You don't have to do this alone. I'll drop some resources in the description. You are worthy, you are seen, and you are not alone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.